We'll welcome you back. If you're just tuning in, we're still on The Buzz, the show that brings you closer to social media. And I have so many feedbacks here already. People trying to win tickets to go watch Black Panther at the Silverbird Galleria, and just have fun. It's an experience you don't want to miss. So from all these ones here, we're going to choose 5 people who sent in correct answers via social SMS, and the other 5 are coming from our other social media portals. So if you know what our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram handles are, maybe you can head that way too. You might get lucky if you don't get lucky on this one. All right, having said that, of course, we have to talk about what people are talking about on social media. And the issue of Lagos State continues to be an ongoing discussion. In fact, to put it more appropriately, the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Kiyomi Ambode, has become an ongoing discussion on social media. People are saying so many things about the amiable governor because of recent decisions and enforcements being put in place by the Lagos State government as we have it. And so joining us on the program this afternoon to shed more light on all of this is a pleasure to have joining us the former chairman, Ejigbo LCDA. He's also former special advisor on community and communications, and he's also the commissioner of information and strategy for Lagos State, in the person of Mr. Kehinde Bamigbetan. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Commissioner, for joining us on the program. All right, I'm happy to live in Lagos State, first of all.
And I'm happy that we brought you today to cross our
It's a progressive state.
Yes, and this is our own parliament.
Yes, it's like our parliament. So you're on the hot seat, sir. Just to warn you.
I think if I'm supported by 2 beautiful ladies, I should feel comfortable.
All right, so most recent, the issues on the table in Lagos State is the issue of the land use charge. And there's an update, which is that there's been a reduction, and I'm sure that came after a series of negotiations, as to how it would better the government and also be convenient for the Lagos citizenry to be able to pay that charge. First of all, let us go into the rationale behind the increment in the first place.
Well, you know, of course, that if you run a state like Lagos, where 24 million people are there, where 86 persons come into the city every hour and they don't go back, and there's always a consequential pressure on our resources. They have to live in homes, they have to use toilet facilities, they have to send their children to schools. When their kids or themselves are sick, they will have to go to the hospitals. So the pressure on these social facilities is quite immense. And when we came on board, we decided to go out there and do citizen journalism. We shared the ESCO into 6 groups. Each group was supposed to go out there and take pictures of what actually is happening in those areas. And when they came back with the pictures we saw were so gory, were so very, very shocking that we felt, look, we cannot in good conscience claim to be running Lagos and allow to have our kids to be under trees in some cases, or allow classes whereby 101 kids in one class.
As is the case in public schools, yes.
Whereby the teacher-student ratio is so wide, or you go to the hospital, you find out that basic things are not available. And we say, look, it's a generational issue for us. It's a matter of conscience for us to make sure that we do something about this situation so that the average person in Lagos can look towards the public realm and ensure that you will get good service. But for us to do this, we realized that we needed more money. For us, for example, to do improve schools, we need like 160 billion to do it. Last year, we pushed 20 billion into schools alone. We knew that it was scratching the surface, but we were able to take out about 1,000 schools through that process, change their windows, expanded some of these classes, added additional classes, provided roofs, small things, but when they come, they look very, very big. So we felt, look, going forward to this year, we needed to do much more this year, and we felt this year was going to be like a major year for us in terms of infrastructures, bringing them up. And we look at the figures, it was quite heavy. Now, okay, how do we raise money for this? Because if the current funds we are taking was okay, we would not need to raise any extra money, And we felt, having demonstrated in Lagos State that the little we have gotten, we have used them very well. People are commending us for doing good roads, for improving nearby, junction improvements. You know. And we felt that, look, if these people are really happy about what we are doing, then they should be able to see that we didn't use our own money to do it, we are using public money to do it. So let's go back to them and say, look, we need to have more money. And when we look at our laws, we find that some laws are rather obsolete. Land use charge, for example, has not been increased phenomenally in the past 15 years. And we said, look, if you were paying 1,200 in the year 2001, if you even look at the inflation spread or whatever, by now, the figure will be higher than that. So we said, look, 5,000, from 1,200 to 5,000 across 15 years shouldn't be a bad idea. At the minimum you can pay for the land and building that you stay in. And so we pushed that to the House of Assembly, and the House of Assembly, in the course of doing it, had to hold a public hearing, invited everybody, groups, interest groups, NGOs, communities were there, and there was quite a big noise around this thing. Some people said, look, this thing will be too much. And so to make sure to mitigate those issues, that was why we came up with certain reliefs. You know, we gave a general relief of 40% across the board, you know, and then if you are owner occupier and you happen to be a pensioner or retiree, you say you don't need to pay. Because at those public hearings, people said all over the world, once you're a pensioner, you don't pay. So we applied it. If you're disabled, you have an additional relief of 10% because that was said, that was a standard international best practice. You know? The same thing applied to if you are 70 years old, you get a 70% and 10% rebate. So we built all these things in believing that the agitations at the public hearing had been dealt with.
Can I butt in there, sir, Commissioner?
Patience,
One minute. Can I butt in there? I understand the reasons you have given, you know, to have increased, you know, the land use charge in the first place. But there's such a thing as the proper time and season, you know, to put some certain things in place so that everybody is happy. A lot of Nigerians are dealing with the economic crunch as we have it. And there's also the issue of multiple taxation in Lagos State. And then we're putting this again on the citizens of Lagos. Isn't it a bit too much?
Look at it. What is the thing meant for? To provide infrastructures for the citizens of Lagos.
We understand that.
So, you know, it's coming back to you. What you pay is coming back to you. When you do all those things, you have better schools, you have better roads, you have better lights, street lights to take care. You have better security. So you are just investing in your own interest. It's not going to anybody's private pockets.
Okay.
So that's the argument.
Okay, Commissioner, I have two questions right now regarding the land use charge, because normally behind the receipt of the land use charge is written there that there are some payments in your neighborhood that you ought not to pay. It's stated.
Well, yes.
Yes. But the main thing is, do the people in the neighborhoods that get to make these payments, do they know? Because they still make all those, they want to do drainages, they still pay, their CDA chairman still goes house to house, door to door, collecting money for them. But once you're paying a land use charge, it is written there that you ought not to pay. So what is the Lagos State government doing about this?
If you say you ought not to pay,
okay,
so why do you go ahead to pay?
They don't know. The information is not driven to them.
See, the land use charge goes to every house.
But they don't read it, Honorable Commissioner.
Oh,
yeah, I read it. But some people don't want to know. But the main thing is they need to understand what it is behind. The pepper seller that owns small bungalow would not know that something is written behind
in fine lines.
In fine lines. They won't. I can as well tell any CDA chairman that don't come to my house and ask me for any drainage fee or something.
Or maybe to put that question in better perspective. What are the benefits of paying the land use charge, aside all of the other facilities you provide for the general? If I pay my land use charge, what are those things I'm exempted from in my neighborhood?
If you pay your land use charge, you do not have to pay tenement rates again. If you pay your land use charge, you don't have to pay neighborhood taxes again. It's written there.
Neighborhood taxes include paying for security. Does that include security?
Well, it includes paying for things like drainage, you know. All those things I think are up by that land use charge.
Or fixing the roads.
Fixing the roads.
You don't need to pay ground rent, you know, again. because it harmonizes those three taxes into one.
Okay.
Those are the immediate reliefs that you get by paying the land use charge. You know, so basically what you're saying that when you pay the land use charge, you know, it enables us to know that first, not only that you are a dutiful and a compliant landlord in Lagos, you are ready to invest in the infrastructures of Lagos State. Basically, that's what it does. You know? And because of those responses from interest groups, we engage them. And based on the general engagement, we have decided to shift to give more concessions to make it easier for people to pay, to make it more convenient for people to pay, and to ease the pains that have been raised in this. So when we say you cannot pay instrumentally, the idea is to reduce the pressure on you.
Okay.
And then earlier on we had said, if you pay 2 weeks after you got the bill, you give you 15%. But we are now rating the 15% now into it as another relief that you can get. So even if you're an owner occupier, and before we have told you that you pay within 2 weeks to get 15%, now we have opened the window.
Okay.
That at any point you pay,
At any point in
get
time you pay, you get to get the 15%.
So
Okay.
those are the responses to the public
Okay.
to show that this government listens and this government is responsible.
Yes,
Okay.
we are convinced the government listens, because when this issue of the increase came up, you know, the government of the day got a lot of backlash from the people on social, and you saw that.
We understand.
Okay, all right, but then we're happy they did something about that. Let's move it along because of time. Let's talk about waste disposal in Lagos State. This is it a challenge for the Lagos State government really on how to handle waste in Lagos State?
Anywhere where you have 24 million people in a particular place,
It's a challenge.
all of them are eating, and all of them have to use the toilets, you know, and all of them have to throw litters of. This is a challenge. And the idea basically is, we could have left it the way it was and be managing it. But because we are the ones who run the system, and we have the feeling that, look, we could make Lagos a tourist destination. When you want to benchmark your city with New York, with other, then you mean that you have to raise the standard of sanitation in that city. No tourist will come to a place that is dirty, that has a risk of catching disease. So that, look, how do we solve this problem once and for all? You know, and that's why we said, okay, let us have a turnkey system whereby we have one company, could be called a consortium, handling collection, handling recycling, and handling land use treatment. Now, that was open for bids. Of all the bids, one company took it. And the company that took it was now given a mandate or a deadline to start like January 1. But mobilizing many of the inputs, like compactors, for example, one of the challenges of our manufacturing sector is that it doesn't produce vehicles. It doesn't produce compactors. So it's not like going to Briscoe and say, look, I want more 600 compactors tomorrow. They now have to go outside of the country and then make a bidding for 600 compactors. We now told them that we'll be making the compactors gradually.
In batches.
So in batches, and they will be putting it in batches. So after the time they took up, you know, they had like 150 compactors to take up. Meanwhile, they will need 600 compactors. So gradually, like every month, more compactors come in, and as they come in, they will get coverage. But note that, as I said, it starts from collection to depositing the waste. In terms of depositing the waste, they opened the Ekpe landfill site. Landfill site is now ready. It's 80 acres. You know, it will take any waste generated anywhere in Lagos State now. They've cleared it now. It's now properly engineered. It can take waste. So to the end of it, where the waste is going, has been taken care of. What is now the problem is the carrying of the waste from your homes to the place. So and that's why they are about to go back to the PSP operators, the waste managers, and do a deal with them. That look, at this entry point, we have found out that our resources are not yet fully on ground. You and handle this before, come and let us do a deal. And what you are seeing right now is the impact of that collaboration between Visionscape and the waste
PSP
managers.
Okay, well, I can get to say that about the debts is already being sorted out in Lagos. Is that getting cleaner? All right, then.
It's getting cleaner. At a point, you know, we were all a bit worried you know, because
Because of the Lassa,
once
when
you
it broke out in some
yes,
states.
yes, broke out,
So we're
and then
scared.
there was filth everywhere in Lagos State. But then even up till now, because we get a lot of feedbacks, you
We
know,
also go around
and the other time we discussed it on the show, people went all out, you know, and what we've discovered is some areas are still being neglected as to effective disposal of waste.
Really, what you have to
What's
is
the
that-
plan
what
now?
you find is that when you have the low density, you have the medium density, you have the high density areas. The high density areas also tend to be where you have the markets. So the quantum of waste in those areas, they have to be very, very heavy. And that means that, you know, collaborating and pushing the waste back is a challenge in those areas. So if you look at it very well, you find that those are the areas where the issues are still very tough. And we are doing 24/7 evacuation of waste in those places. It's tough, you know, because by 5 a.m., you know, from the hinterland, the trucks are coming with banana, plantain, pineapples.
Yeah.
By 11 o'clock, once they are not sold, they become waste. So evacuating from like 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. If it's not evacuated by the next day, it's a mountain already.
Yes,
you know.
exactly.
So that is the challenge. But we're pushing back, and I believe that the more contractors come in, the more we'll be able to sanitize the system.
But then what has changed, or, you know, what has been added to the payment system? Because I remember when it was the PSP thing, you know, doing the waste disposal in Lagos, of course, you knew when and where to go and pay and who to pay to and all of that. But now it's a bit more confusing. What has changed?
The charge that actually comes with it is because of these challenges that we have, that the payment system has not been structured very well. There's a charge, it's called a utility charge. It's paid once in a year.
What do you call the charge?
Utility charge.
Utility, okay.
It allows them to bring a bin in front, to put a bin in front of your house, and to pick that bin every other day. So that is where we're actually going. Every house should have a bin, and then the operator comes and picks a bin. So you pay only once in a year.
You only pay once in a year. Okay, that's part of, because now it falls down to your department, which has to do with information. Getting this down to the public, because there are times that most people don't understand the psyche about it, that, okay, I need to pay once in a year, because some people would still want to use to extort some people that don't know, out of ignorance.
Exactly.
That's why we are Galaxy.
No, you people need to do more.
We need to do more.
Yes, orientation, yes, people need to do more.
So that's why I'm talking to you people.
Okay. All right. We're moving it along because of time. Now let's look at the issue of traffic. It's a headache.
You know,
I have a personal experience with that because my axis.
And I also have observation about last month. But let's go.
It's a headache, really.
But you know one thing, sometimes you can't win everything all the time. If you, even in your house, if you're going to change some things in the house and you have to bring in the bricklayers, everybody has to chill sometimes because it's disruptive, you know. But it is very positive disruption. The construction, the gridlock you are getting, they occur around the places where construction is going on.
Yes.
So we really have to. We've encouraged them, for example, to try and work at night more, and you see them working at night. If you are on Abule Egba, Oshodi axis, you see that they work at night. If you are on the airport, and the idea is to reduce contacts, you know, as soon as possible with mass of people, because even it's not really very safe. But we have too many people working around construction sites. But people have to get to work. So we try to advise that you look at those areas, those traffic routes that is not truly involved in this thing. If you have to pass the Kodu Road, areas that are still safe from construction, you'll be able to cheat the traffic that way. But essentially, these are projects that you ask for. You want new roads, you want to improve Lagos. Everybody wants to have a better Lagos where all of us can enjoy ourselves. So we really need to, the inconvenience sometimes can be, but we have also increased last month by over 1,000 men. And the whole idea is to see how we can manage traffic better. We have brought in more signal signages, you know, and more traffic signs, so that people can be able to guide their way. But as I said, Lagos is huge in terms of population. There's no way that kind of populace will be moving around that don't have some effect on it.
Okay, talking about the observations that I have about LASMA, driving all the way from Ikorodu, most times, if the road is actually is always blocked. It's always blocked. And I expect, most times from, let's just get say from Itolo or thereabouts down to Mile 12, and you expect that the LASMA officials should ease up traffic. Instead, they pile themselves at the edge of the BRT to pick up people, because a lot of people want to take the BRT as a fast lane. I'm not advising people to take BRT.
Lane.
Do you understand the lane? But instead of them to ease up traffic, they won't. They would all stick their heads at that spot.
Have you been caught before?
No, but I watch
Confession
people.
time.
No, I watch people. I don't fly BRT. Even my governor self still takes the normal routes, even when there is traffic. So
I'm quite
honorable.
sure they're listening as we
Okay,
talk it,
yes.
and I'm going to take the message home. So
Thank you. Thank you.
I can assure you, you see some difference even by today, by this evening.
Thank
Okay.
you. Then
Thank you,
secondly,
sir.
wait, so hold
Thank
on
you
about
for doing that.
transport. Transport in Lagos State. The BRT system have actually left a lot of people stranded. I don't understand. You get to see the queue. Maybe there is something about communication.
Endless
Nobody
queues.
is talking to people. These are just complaints from people on the streets.
We see too when we pass, we see this thing, and that's why this, we're expanding the BRT system. We're bringing in 800 new buses this year, and we expect that will ease much of the demand. It's a supply demand issue. There needs to be much more buses there, and we've gone out there to resolve the problem by bringing in more buses. And you can see. But we have to also develop the depots where the buses will be before we bring them in. So you can see also new depot coming up, Ikeja, terminal here and there. So once, I hope by May we should have more buses coming. 800 should make a lot of difference to our transport system.
Thank God. I love this government. They listen.
All right, so what's new with the Lagos State government? I hear there's something about a campaign going on. What's that about?
Yes, Lagosians have become very, very sophisticated. You can see what we're talking about, the demand, the agitation, the standards have grown. And we feel that the civil servants must also grow with this thing. Over time, we now have a more demanding citizenry, and therefore we need to have a more responsive civil service. But civil service by bureaucracy has been built on various kind of principles of inclusion, principles of non-disclosure of information. So we are trying to break that ceiling, that we're trying to break that wall in the minds of people, of our civil servants, to begin to see the public as the customer, that is the king, to begin to recognize the fact that the taxpayers' money pay
Customer relations.
better customer relations.
Yes.
So we started with, so we are launching what we call the growth mindset campaign. We are moving them from fixed mindsets to a growth mindset campaign. And that basically is to encourage even young civil servants to ask questions, to also encourage their bosses to listen more to them. The system can only change, can only innovate when there's room for engagement. So when you have a situation whereby you respond negatively to a young civil servant asking questions or proposing new solutions for old problems, then it means that we're not getting there. So we're taking it from body of permanent secretaries, heads of parastatals, to directors, and then down. At the end of the day, we expect to have people who recognize the impact, of having a more exposed, a more responsive populace, and who will be able to talk to our citizens and treat them like the kings that they really are, as the one paying the taxes that is running the system.
All right. So what's the plan with this campaign, really?
The plan has already started. We started on Monday with training. There's a communication track and there's a training track. The communication track is to give out the messages, create the ambience and the environment for them to be able to assimilate. So if you go to the old secretariat or new secretariat at Alausa now, you will see that a lot of billboards, a lot of mopeds, teardrops, announcing 23rd of the month never fails. Work with our hearts, or sport opportunities. So we've tried to do the messages around the year of punctuality, around the year of teamwork, around the year of goal setting, and basically there's also a title that says the customer is king. Things along that line.
But then, is there something in all of this also, that includes the customers, that is us, who are not,
In allowance.
for instance, if a civil servant, does not treat me very well.
Yes, we have a solution to it. It's called WW Citizens Gate.
Okay.
The Citizens Gate is a technology platform that we have provided
Okay.
for the public to be able to complain or seek information about government. And it's been on like 1 year now.
Okay.
And in fact, we want to use this occasion to actually encourage more people to use the Citizens Gate platform, because we think that the traffic there is still not enough, considering the number of people that we service. So the idea basically is to have a smart government that responds fast to the request of citizens and blends with the general mood of the citizens, so that we can work together and we can have a
Well,
better
that
country.
still boils down to awareness thing that I'm still talking about, that the people need to know. And good that you mentioned it.
Okay, all right, we have someone who's reacting here, says Lagos State is trying, yes, but is it the only state in Nigeria? They want to kill people with tax, Ikoyi toll gate increase, VAT in anything you buy in Lagos is on the high side. LSDI fee, different from federal license, PSP fee, tax on salary, both private and public, Kai on the poor street seller, and now this is a bit too much. I think that's an average Nigerian.
Well, I think the narrative of taxation is a narrative of empowerment. We pay tax to service public infrastructures. In the past, we had complained that, we can't see the results of the taxes that we pay, In this government, we've tried to make a difference. We try to be active in terms of project and every thing. So here, you are seeing what you had paying for. So I think the point is, it's a cycle thing. You throw in the water, into it. The water is like a fountain of sorts, The water still rolls back to you, because the money you are paying is going to be used for infrastructure that you need to function effectively.
Well, I'm sure what a lot of people are just trying to say is, even if it's going to be like that, it should be like a gradual process. It shouldn't just be boom and just
everything is all at the same time. So it feels really heavy.
We've taken that. That's
okay, please take that. Okay, and also you take back a message, sir. Sorry,
no problem.
I can't send you on an error, but please help us tell the amiable governor of Lagos State, Mr. Kumi Ambode, that we want to have him on this table in our parliament. That would be nice. All right.
That would be great.
We'll expect
so that. That would be nice. Or you would
we'll make it happen.
We'll
make it happen. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. And really, we have to give kudos to the Lagos State government. We see them working, and if they weren't working, the social media will say it all. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show. All right, our guest today has been Mr. Kehinde Bamigbetan. He is a former chairman of Ejigbo LCDA and a former special advisor, community and communications, and he's currently the Commissioner of Information and Strategy for Lagos State. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so the program The Buzz continues in a bit. Don't go away. We'll be back.
Aesthetic.
Savage lifestyle.
Make it every day, baby. Fresh boy, blow money done dead. Oh, they say I no go make 'em one day. Oh, now me will be the boy, then they hate on. We step into the place, now they be real one. I'm fresh up Benny, make you know they try me. Put your Gucci down, your Louis or Benny, you try me. I be African nigga, West Africa, they find me. Now they say JBJ, even government won't indict me. I know be Buhari, but me I bring change. We go make you know say if I buy something, give me my change. I be that rapper where they make other rappers the lane. I know be ice brains, but I got my chains ice. I'm the reason why your girlfriend should be twerking for me. She said Jacka fancy your twagga to packing for me. You say you like it, dog Benny, come on to packing for me. I feel they speaking tongues, some tongue this make it put it for me. What? Jabby J man, I be rude boy. I step into the place, I'm a rude boy. We're doing big things with a rude boy. You say you like the way I do it, I'm a rude boy. I'm been a rude boy, boys done be rude boy. Step into the place with my bottle, I'm a rude boy. She say she wanna roll with me and then she walk. Step into the place, I'm Benny, I'm a rude boy. Rude Everything you know was so crazy, baby. Jolly J, I still come, man. No come here, the dog, bro. Now me will be the done, man. She said she like the way I still do, I'm real. Step into the
continues. Many thanks to the Commissioner for coming through on the program today. And we have someone else here who is hanging out with us. His name is Jabi J. These artists are names.
Jabi J.
Jabi J, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Yes,
is that how to pronounce your name?
Yeah, Jabi J.
I love your specs.
Thank you.
I love your blings.
Oh, God.
You know, when we heard about you, the first thing we did was quickly look you up on social media to see if you had any presence at all on social media. Okay. And we were stunned, you know, that you have quite a followership on. How were you able to romance social media so quickly?
It's an overtime something. Yeah, I've been there, you know, last year, started dropping Wood Boy and it was fun. You know, created a lot of buzz, blogs and stuff, you know. But we thank God everything went well and they are really accepting the vibe, the brand, Jabi J. And this is just like the beginning. We hope over time, you know, the brand is going to grow into an international brand and take Nigeria entertainment to another level, hopefully.
I love the calmness and the, you know, when everything's buzzing for you, you don't stress yourself,
you just be chilling.
Oh,
like he's chilling.
Yeah, I'm
yes?
chilling in front of two
yeah,
beautiful ladies. So what do you expect? As I'm in front of two beautiful ladies.
Ladies, you call us
I'm feeling the aura.
Aura.
Yeah, it's moving.
All right, now let's talk quickly about your music.
Yeah.
You have a new single called Berry.
Yeah.
What is it all about? I know I saw ladies in the video.
Okay. And Berry is all about, you know, it's a beautiful Afrocentric song. You know, like, you know, we have the EDM now, Afro dance music. So where you're fusing the techno fusion and the Afro beat. So Berry is all about, you know, this guy that you don't used to send him before, like you don't care about him. He's been dropping stuff and you feel you're not feeling what he's doing, but all of a sudden everything starts falling into place. So you're just indirectly telling them, man, Berry, let's have fun. I'm here now, so.
You know the band did a song called Berry?
Yeah.
That's one of my father's favorite songs. Anyway, that's why I still remember it. He made me.
I love the song too.
Sorry, he made me buy that CD twice. You know, that was how I knew that Berry was not even like on D'banj's. It was on Mohit, because he kept stopping me, buy me Pere. I'm like, what's this old man with Pere, you know? So I went and bought, and it was a D'ban, and there's no Pere in this, so I have to go and buy it again. And I bought the story of my life. I have to write a book.
All right, now, so what's next for you? Do you have plans to work with other artists and stuff like that?
Yeah,
like what other artists? Do you want to mention names?
Top secret.
You know, they don't.
It's the top
It's
secret.
top secret because
you know,
it's a
never
spice.
tell.
It's a spice. You know, when you let the cat out of the bag, it spoils the business.
Okay, all right. Okay,
So that's
question
three.
now. You know what? You're an artist.
Yeah.
Relationship with other artists, with elder artists. How is it like? Because we've heard of
In one
stories.
sentence, because we have to go. One sentence. Good,
Okay.
bad,
Good or bad, worse, or
fair,
good?
average,
Fair.
fair,
They're not friendly.
honesty.
I
Okay,
like
you know
it.
what? There's gonna be an encore.
No problem.
You know what that means? Okay,
yeah.
so
To be continued.
Okay,
Yeah,
because
of
we
course.
know because of ongoing projects in your area, there was traffic, so you couldn't come here on time. All right,
Sorry
thank you
about it.
anyways, Jabi J.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, we've been playing your songs and
thanks
they're
for the
good.
love, man.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
I appreciate
Alero,
it.
thank you. It's
Thank
been
you,
a wonderful
Patience.
week with you.
And please give out our tickets.
Yes.
They're so
And
nice.
if you get a message from me this afternoon, that means you are a winner of the Black Panther ticket. So you go watch, and I'll tell you what to do to come pick it up. Thank you for being with us all through the week. We'll be back next week, God willing. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.
boy, me, I say I know this bit. When I step into the place and they like my flow, that is say, Jabi J, man, you done bolo. From the city to Weko, now your flow and them know. Now me will be the boy, then they dance for so